Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and today is March 10th, 2015. It's Tuesday, and we have more Dragons of Tarkir spoilers. So today, 9 new cards have been revealed, and we'll jump in. Let's get started by looking at some new tokens, though. These were revealed today by Wizards of the Coast. These will be the tokens that will be included in Dragons of Tarkir. There's going to be a warrior, a Djinn monk, a zombie, zombie horror, dragon, goblin, morph, and then, of course, the emblem for Narset. So let's jump into the cards. Our first one is Artful Maneuver. 1 white and a colorless for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and it has Rebound. This one is your kind of run-of-the-mill common level combat trick. It has Rebound, which is nice, but the Rebound, of course, won't be able to take anyone by surprise. What is sort of nice is you can use this as a defensive card as a surprise and then go in and be aggressive your next turn. So it's a very nice combat trick. Not going to blow the doors off constructed, but you'll use it in limited. Our next card is Shield High Dragon. 1 white and 5 colorless. He's a flying lifelink dragon, 3/3. And he has Megamorph for 2 white and 5 colorless. And when Shield High Dragon is turned face up, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on each other dragon creature you control. So this is the white version of this cycle. We've been seeing these pop up in all the colors. The only thing about them is they're very, very pricey for what they do. In limited, yeah, he's a good guy. He's a flying lifelinker, 3/3. You're paying 6 for him. He only is making you go into the bank for 1 color, so that's kind of nice. The Megamorph is even more pricey though, so again, you're going to play him in limited, and he's going to be just fine, but don't expect anything special from him. This card is Quasi Deceiver. 1 blue and a colorless for a 0/4 Nagi Wizard, and he can tap to add 1 mana to your mana pool, but you can only spend this mana to cast a face-down creature spell, or pay it for the flip cost for a morph or manifest creature. Nothing real special about this card. Nice to have if you have a lot of morphs in your deck. It's also going to gum up the ground a little bit for 2 for a 0/4. So if you're playing a limited deck and you happen to have a lot of morphs, maybe it just makes your cut. But most limited decks probably don't even want a creature like this. There's just other things you can be doing with your space. Next card image was spoiled as a foreign language card, and it is Pitless Horde. 1 black and 2 colorless. It's an Orc Berserker. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life, and it has the dash ability for 2 black and 2 colorless. And what's nice about this card is it's a 5/3, so that's why it kind of has that drawback. You're paying 3 for a 5/3. That's pretty good. On your 3rd turn, if you're playing this and your opponent's playing a morph, you come out ahead. And losing a couple life to play this guy is not a big deal. And you can keep coming in with him. And if there's a point where you're concerned about the life loss, well, your opponent is going to have to deal with him, because your opponent can't sit there and take 5 damage every turn or keep chump blocking. So it's a pretty decent card. And I like the fact that it has the maybe more for a late game, the 2 black, 2 colorless dash, because now I can attack with him without paying the 2 life, which is just nice to have if not necessary. But it's a decent limited card. You'll see this played in a lot of drafts and a lot of sealed. Our next card today is Assault Formation. 1 green and a colorless. It's a rare enchantment. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. You can pay a green, and target creature with Defender can attack as though it didn't have Defender, or you can pay a green and 2 colorless, and all creatures you control get +0/+1 until end of turn. So the toughness gimmick of this card probably isn't even really a thing. What this card is really doing for you is it's a late game mana sink to pump all creatures you control +0/+1, which is then in turn being changed over to attack damage. So very powerful effect late game to be able to just pump creatures, maybe get some trample on the board that can really push these last few points of damage through. So again, we've seen a lot of this in Fate Reforged, a very competitively costed enchantment to make you want to play an enchantment, and this is going to be fine and limited. Probably not going to be something I'm playing in Constructed, but this is one of the maybe few enchantments that I would consider playing in limited and feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of it. Next card is Avatar the Resolute. 2 green. He's a 3/2 with Reach and Trample. And as he enters the battlefield, he'll get a +1/+ counter for each other creature you control, +1/+1 counters. So he's a fine Abzan guy. It's nice that he has Reach and Trample. However, he is 2 green, so he's going to be maybe a little awkward as an early drop in an Obzon deck. Realistically, he's probably really not coming out to turn 3 or 4, and by then a 3-2 might be a little mismatched unless you already have a lot of creatures with counters in play. So he's just very situational. He's not a card that obviously won't make it into constructed, but he's also not going to be in every limited deck. Now, if you have a really strong Obzon limited deck with a lot of bolster cards, and you know you're going to have a lot of counters, then you probably throw this guy in. He's probably going to give you some value, probably more so late game than early game, but he's not going to be something every limited deck's going to want. Next card is Irish Shaymin, 1 red and a colorless. He's a 2/1, and he can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. He has a Megamorph ability for 1 red, and when he is turned face up, you get to exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card. He's a decent man, but is he going to be a little bit outclassed? The one thing that's nice about him is the fact that he can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures. I do like that. So if you get him out fast, your opponent might not be able to deal with him for a couple turns, and maybe he gets in there for maybe 4, if you're lucky, 6 damage. And if that happens and you're able to draw a card off him, he's a decent guy in limited. So if there's a strong red aggressive deck out there and constructed, he may be part of it, especially with the whole draw a card piece. I really like that. But if that card doesn't exist in the metagame, then you probably won't see him in constructed, but he's a fine enough guy for limited. Next card is Warbringer, 1 red, 3 colorless. He's a 3/3, and he has dash for 1 red and 2 colorless. And his ability is dash costs you pay costs 2 less to play. So that's pretty cool, actually. And this is a great card to draft around. If you happen to open a pack with Warbringer, you're going to start thinking about maybe a Mardu dash strategy. And I really like that. I like cards that kind of nudge you in a direction and draft. And this is maybe the first, other than a lot of the Dragon synergies, maybe the first time we've really seen that from a preview card in Dragons of Tarkir. I really like this card. It's not going to do a whole lot in constructed. It's a fun casual card, but I think it could be pretty good in drafts. Maybe not as great in sealed, but pretty good in draft. Next card is Haven of the Spirit Dragon. And this is our last preview of the day. You get to add 1 mana to your mana pool, or add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, but spend this mana only to cast dragon creature spells. Then you can pay 3, tap and sacrifice it, return target dragon creature card or Ugin Planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. So if Ugin is in a situation where he ends up in your graveyard, this is a kind of neat way to recur him in that situation, but it does return any dragon card. There's so many dragon cards in this set that in limited you're probably going to get value out of this no matter what you're doing. So it's a very fine limited card. I'd probably play it almost every time because I can't imagine playing a limited deck in this format without dragons. So shoot, why not throw it in there and be able to reoccur a dragon and maybe cast them a little easier and not take the color hit. So really fine card. I don't really see it playing into constructed. Nice commander card, though, for sure. And having said that, that's the last of our cards for the day. Hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please remember to subscribe. We will continue to put videos out every single day that we have spoilers to share. And as always, have a great day.